Hey all, Echo Greg here with a deck tech on what I call Doctor Combo. This is a pre-modern slash middle school deck. As is legal in both with no changes required. It's a green, white, blue survival deck. Kind of a toolboxy deck. We'll just go through all the creatures. So it's got bunch of mana dorks in four birds of paradise and three Llanowars. Those will come into play with the combo as well as ramping out. We'll get to the combo here in a minute. It's got a single deranged hermit, a single glory, a single masticore, three meddling mages, an Antuco Vigilante, two questing Fildogriffs, a squee, four wall of blossoms, two Traven riders, and two wall of roots. It has two intruder alarms, four survivals, two sylvan libraries, two enlightened tutors, four swords to plowshares, and then a land package of two bushlands, three cities of brass, four forests, three Yavimaya coasts, two Gaia's cradles, two plains, four fetches, and two reflecting pools. And the fetches are the green-white windswept heaths. So again, primarily just a toolboxy survival deck, but with a kind of combo piece here with Intruder Alarm. So Intruder Alarm combos really well with Questy and Feldegriff. So the way this works is Feldegriff, pretty rarely played card, but is a 4/4 for 4 mana, 1 colorless, 1 green, 1 white, 1 blue, and it has 3 activated abilities. The first one is for 1 green, you can give itself +1/+1 until end of turn, and when you do so, your opponent puts a 1/1 green hippo into play. It also has protected mode of for 1 white, it gets protected from black and red, and your opponent gains 2 life. And for 1 blue, you can give it flying, and your opponent may draw a card. They don't have to, so you can't use it to deck them out, but likely they will. So the way this works is you pair it with Intruder Alarm, which says, creatures do not untap during their controller's untap phases. Whenever any creature comes into play, untap all creatures. So every time you activate the green ability of the Feldegriff and give it +1/+1, that puts a token into play under your opponent, which triggers Intruder Alarm and untaps all your creatures, well, everybody's creatures. So if you pair this with a mana dork, such as a Birds of Paradise or a Llanowar Elf, you can generate infinite tokens and make the Feldegriff infinitely big, and then you just need to give it flying, or if they're a black-red deck, protection, and it flies over and kills the opponent. So that's the combo piece. Outside of the Intruder Alarm, there's several games I've won with this deck where just having the Feldegriff down and being able to make it a 8/8 or a 10/10 in one turn just to finish off the opponent can win. Again, give it flying, have it fly over, or even without flying, just wait till after the clear blockers phase is done and then start pumping it. By then it's too late for them to block with the tokens you give them, and the hippo goes on to victory. So that is the combo piece, but again, the rest of the deck does work pretty well without it. Again, survivally deck, so you've got its Ranged Hermit. That's just a great survival target. Doesn't really play into the combo very much at all, but it's a broken card. Everyone knows the value of the Ranged Hermit, so there's a single one in there just as a survival tutor to have another way of winning. Glory. Glory is great. Get it in your graveyard, typically by pitching it to a survival, and it has a lovely activated ability for 2 colorless and a white. All your creatures gain protection from the color of your choice. So that's another way of being able to get the Feldegriff through. Also could save it in response to a swords or black removal or anything like that. I mean, the Feldegriff's ability for pro red and black will help it, but stop it from being bounced with pro blue, all sorts of options. But also you just give it pro whatever color you want. And again, if you have enough dorks in play, you can generate infinite mana. All you need is 2 dorks, 1 to produce green to keep making the tokens with Intruder Alarm, and then if you have a birds in play, then it can just make all the colors you need. You tap the birds to add whatever color you want, tap either another birds or an elf to give you green mana, and then spend the green mana to create the token. Intruder Alarm untaps both the creatures, and you've got 1 floating to whatever color you want from the birds, and repeat forever, and you have all the mana you need. It's also got a Masticore, again, just a great toolboxy creature. Lots of decks struggle against Masticores, and it makes a pretty good beater that can be hard to remove. Meddling Mages shuts down certain decks, great against combo decks, great against decks like Dreadnought, stuff like that. You can stop their Dreadnoughts and then stop their bouncing spells. Also can help you protect your pieces if you're worried about them naturalizing or destroying your Intruder Alarm. You can name those pieces. If you're worried about them swordsing your Hippo or other creatures, you can name that. Even though we have swords ourselves, it's still worth it. The Vigilante, again, great toolboxy piece. Just utility to be able to take out artifact enchantments and search for it, squeeze there to enable the survival card advantage engine. The Wall of Blossoms, not only do they replace themselves, they also provide great early blocking against aggressive decks, but then they also combo pretty well with the Tradewind Riders. You can kind of just bounce them and replay them and draw a card every turn, so another card advantage. It's a little slow, but it definitely works. The Wall of Roots, again, good blocking, mana acceleration. There's lots of other dorks in this deck, that's why there's only 2, but the ability to draw the cards from the Wall of Blossoms is why there's more of those. Tradewind Riders, right, there's a lot of Tradewind Rider decks out there. This one is basically swapping the oppositions with the Intruder Alarms to go more combo-y rather than prison-y. But the Tradewind Rider does untap with the Intruder Alarm combo, so you can also bounce their entire board as you go off. So another way to just lock everything down there. Obviously survival is the engine for this deck. This deck doesn't top deck very well, which is also why the Sylvan Libraries are in there to help with that. But you really want to survive a lot in this to let you go find the combo pieces and search. The Enlightened Tuners are there to help find the Intruder Alarms. Again, this deck doesn't need the Intruder Alarms. It's kind of like almost a oops I win type of situation. But they're also there for the sideboard cards, which we'll talk about in a minute. Swords of Plowshares are self-explanatory, and then the land base is there. So, into the sideboard, we have a single Color of the Claw for any deck, again, that's just trying to play sweepers. We can either have it in hand or, in response to the sweeper, pitch something to survival to go get it, and then kind of blow them out. They think they're sweeping everything, and then we put a bunch of bears in play. So it doesn't really play in with the combo-y aspect, but it's just a nice safety valve to have. Genesis is great against grindy decks because as long as they're not swordsing or exiling your creatures, anything they kill, you just get it right back. So that definitely helps against like the Raw Kings of Pernicious Deeds. It helps you rebuild. All you gotta do is get it into your yard, which is pretty easy with survival. Gilded Drake, again, great card. It's good against Reanimator decks, good against Oath decks, good against Dreadnought. Just take their really, really impressive creature and give them a 3/3 flyer in replace. Next is a single Goblin Sharpshooter. Again, great against decks that rely on lots of weenies and things like elves, lots of 1 power. Just have 1 tutorable, search it up. There's no way to give anything haste in this deck. There's no anger, there's no mountains, no concordant crossroads, so it's not as good as it is in certain other decks, but if it can survive a turn, it's still pretty good. Also pretty good against decks like Standstill, where they're and other blue-white controls where they're going to play out a Decree of Justice for a lot of tokens. You can drop this down and just wipe all their tokens. Then we have a Monk Realist, again, just another way, lots of good enchantments in the format, a way of just having a tutorable enchantment hate, as is the Uktabi Orangutan later in the side, which is just tutorable artifact hate. We've got 2 naturalized, again, just lots of artifact enchantments, especially against this deck. Things like Cursed Totem completely shut this deck down. That's why the Vigilante is in the main, but you can bring in the other stuff to have it. Some Graveyard Hate in 2 Furnace, 2 Crypt. That's just a staple I put in almost every single sideboard. There's enough decks that care about the graveyard, and certain ones that care about like individual cards in the graveyard, or where Crypt kind of helps, versus ones that care about just having a mass for like threshold purposes, where Furnace really shines, because Crypt can wipe them out at once, but they can rebuild. Furnace just keeps taking them down and keeps them off, and can also nail a single target if you need it to. And then 2 Warmth against any burn decks, right? And then a Worship, again, good against burn decks or other aggressive decks, things that may not have a way of dealing with it. We are pretty decently enchantment heavy deck as far as relying on it. We got the Survivals, we got the Sylvans, so likely opponents will be boarding that in, so the Warmth becomes not always that great, but if you can hold it in your hand, they're using the early removal on the libraries and the survival, you might be able to sneak it in a little bit later, and even if it doesn't last forever, it buys you a few turns, it might be all you need. Again, this deck can win pretty quickly out of nowhere with the combo pieces, and also can grind really well, especially once it gets the Tradewind Rider down and just bounce it all out. One perhaps notable absence from the deck that you see in a lot of Tradewind Rider decks is the Krurian Ranger. When I was initially building this deck and putting it together, again, because this is not primarily a Tradewind Rider deck, I didn't think it was all that important, but after playing for several times, I do think it would be valuable. Also, not only does it work with the Tradewind Rider really well, but it works with the Mana Dorks, as you see in other aggressive decks too. So probably need to slot one in. Not sure what I would take out. Maybe the Glory. The Glory has done some work, but in general it hasn't been that good, because we're not a go wide aggro deck where like the Wild Dogs deck is, that the Mad Dogs deck, the green-white Madness that is going to dump a bunch of creatures on the board and then throw this in the yard, get everything pro colors from their blockers and swing in for lethal. We're probably not attacking with a whole bunch of stuff. So the Glory might come out for a Ranger, and then might need to add another Forest or 2 to take the mana base and make sure that you can support the Ranger. Feels real bad when you have a Ranger in play but no Forest, so, but that's something for a future iteration. Again, that's this deck. I call it Dr. Combo because of the Feldegriff combo. If you're not aware, the original Feldegriff, which was printed in Alliances as a legendary hippo, very similar card with slightly different abilities. It is an anagram of Garfield PhD, after Richard Garfield, the inventor of magic, and so kind of as a nod to that, I call this deck Dr. Combo. So that is it. Thanks everyone for watching. There'll be some decks videos coming up for this, as I'm running this through the Stones League right now, so stay tuned for that, and I will see you all next time.